Hey friends, we are going to be doing some activities with regrouping of whole numbers. That is our first lesson that we're going to be working on. And so there are a couple things that you need to know about regrouping with whole numbers. The first thing that you need to know is we always start in the ones place value, or in the smallest place value if you're dealing with decimals. Always start in the ones place value when we're dealing with whole numbers. Okay, in your notes that I provided for you, I gave you an example of regrouping, in the ones place value and regrouping in the tens place value. So we're going to go through those very quickly, and then we're going to move on to regrouping in the hundreds place value. So the first one that we started with, let's do a different example. I think we started with, let me look. We started with 25 plus 37 in our notes. And let's do the example that they gave us, 32 plus 49. 32 plus 49. So when they gave us 32 plus 49, we actually start in the ones column. So if you don't remember which column is the ones column, it is okay for you to go ahead and make one of these handy dandy little place value chart. There's the ones, there's the tens. When we look at our ones column, we have 2 plus 9. That's 2 plus 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When we put 2 plus 9 together, that equals 11. We have 9, 10, 11 ones. We can't put two numbers in the ones place value to show the addition of this. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to break this apart again by tens and ones. If we look at the number 11, we have 1 1 and 1 10. What that looks like if we draw it out is this. Here's a rod and here's a cube. That equals 11. 11 is the same thing as 110 and 1 1. When we do that, we have to take our 1 1 and put it into our equation, 1 1. But we have to do something with the 10. And so we have to be able to put that into our equation. Since we haven't yet added our tens, we're going to take this 10 and move it up here on top of our equation. So what our equation should look like now, we still have 32 plus 49. We still have 32 plus 49. But we found out that these two numbers together equaled 11. We put 1 here, and then we put a little 1 up here to add to our tens column. Now, again, ones look like this. Tens are rods, so I have 1 10, 3 tens, and 4 tens. 1 10 plus 3 tens plus 4 tens. Even though that looks like 1 plus 3 plus 4, what it really is 1 10 plus 1, 2, 3 tens plus 4 more tens. Okay, that's this information right here. So if we add them all together, I can literally just count the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens equals 80. 8 tens written over here is going to be just that, 8 in the tens place, 8 in the tens place. So 32 plus 49 equals 81. 32 plus 49 equals 81. Now, your parents are going to talk about regrouping and carrying this way. They're going to say, okay, 32 plus 49. I know that 9 plus 2 is 11. I'm going to put a 1 down and I'm going to carry the 1 up here. They're saying the exact same thing. They're putting the 1 down and they're bringing up the 10 that is represented by the digit 1. 110 goes up here to the top. Don't get confused. Your parents are doing it the same way. It's like saying this. If I have ones and I end up with a 10 in my backpack, 10 is too heavy for me to carry. I have to put it into the right column. We're going to regroup and put it there. So then we would have 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 1 is 8. 81. These are the same thing. These are the same thing. We still have the same answer. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Now, the other way we're going to regroup is when we do subtraction. And I showed you in your notes one example of that. And that example was 72 minus 57. So we had to borrow from the previous column because we didn't have enough to make it work. So let's do another example with subtraction regrouping. Let's do another example with subtraction regrouping. So we did where you had to regroup in the ones. Let's do where you have to regroup in the tens. And if you're following along in your notes on Buzz, this is example number 3. So 319 minus 157. Again, to help myself out and make sure that I am lined up correctly, you know me, I love place value charts. So I'm going to put a place value chart over this. This is the ones, the tens, the hundreds. And I need to make sure that I know whether I'm adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. I am subtracting. So 9 take away 7. 9 take away 7. So I can do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I can take away 7 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that leaves me with 2. Or if you just know 9 minus 7 equals 2, that's fine too. So we'll go there. Uh-oh, now we run into a problem. We can't take away 5 tens from 1 10. If we have 1 10, we cannot take away 5 tens from 1 10. So we're going to have to take away from our 100. That means that we're going to take one of these hundreds, which will leave this as 200, and we're going to add 10 tens because we know that 10 times 10 is 100. 10 tens equals 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, sorry, my tens got sloppy there. We should have a total of 11 tens because we have 10 tens that we moved over, and we have 110 that we originally had there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we take this and we combine it and we say we have 11 tens, and we're going to take away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. Now, we're no longer subtracting from 3 hundreds. Now we are subtracting from 2 hundreds because we took and broke one of these. One of these 3 got broken apart to make that 10 something we could subtract from. So we have 2 hundreds minus 100 equals 162. Your parents may explain it this way. 319 minus 157. We have 2 here. We can't take away from 1, so we're going to borrow and make this 11, and this becomes 2. 11 minus 5 is 6, and 2 minus 1 is 1. These are the same thing. We're converting from hundreds to tens in the first one, and this is still converting from hundreds to tens. It just is described a little bit different. If your parents explain it to you this way, that's fine. All right. The next example that we would look at is adding more than 2 numbers together. So for instance, let me draw my squiggly line right here so I know we're done with that. This is with 3 add-ins, and I'm just going to make up random numbers. Let's say 417 plus 145 plus 271. Okay. So we can sit and draw out all the hundreds, tens, and ones for this, or we can just look by each place value again and look to see what we need to do. So here's our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. We always start with our ones. So 7 plus 5 plus 1. 7 and 5 is 12, plus 1 is 13. I see here that I have 3 ones and 1 10. So when I write that into my equation, I'm going to write 3 here, and then my 110 is going to go up above. Now I'm going to add together my tens. So let's look at tens. I've got 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 7. Again, these are all tens. So 1 and 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 7 is 13. The important thing to remember here is just like in our place value chart, this 1 is in the hundreds, the 3 is in the tens. So when we put our number back in here, it's the equivalent of 130. We're not going to put anything in our ones. We're going to put this 3 in our tens, and then this 1 goes right above our 4. So now we can add the numbers in our hundreds column. So remember, this is the same thing as saying 100 plus 400 plus 100 plus 200. But we're going to make it look simple by doing 1, 4, 1, 2. Add them together, and what have you got? Well, I know 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 2 more is 7, 8. So again, this is technically 800. 800. Okay? Because we're adding 100, plus 200, 400 plus 100 plus 200. So we're going to put this 8 in the hundreds place value. 833. Okay. Again, if your parents are showing you, it may look very similar. 417, 145, 271, and they're going to tell you, all right, 7 and 6 is 13, 3 carry the 1, 4 and 7 is 12, 13, 14. Oh, did I do that wrong earlier? No, sorry. 7 and 4 is 11, 12, 13, sorry. 3 carry the 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 833. So they may not say carry the 1 over the tens place, carry the 1 over the hundreds place. That's not the way that they're going to describe it if they're explaining it to you, but that's still the same. If you have any questions, please come and see me during our class time. Look forward to seeing you soon.